This is the 2021 GMC Canyon AT4. The Canyon is the corporate cousin to the Chevrolet Colorado, and the AT4 means that this midsize pickup truck can go off-road. How far off-road? Let's find out. After about 20 years of declining sales, the midsize pickup truck segment has exploded. Part of the reason why is that Americans just love pickup trucks. We can't get enough of them. However, the other reason is that full-size pickup trucks have become XXL. They are enormous, not just in terms of size, but price tags too. Back in 2015, General Motors introduced both the Chevrolet Colorado and the GMC Canyon here. Since that time, like I said earlier, this segment has just exploded. Ford has reintroduced the Ranger to the US market, Nissan has a new Frontier on the way, and the Toyota Tacoma is the same as it's ever been. The problem for the Canyon is it's just kind of lost when compared to the Chevy. With the introduction of the new AT4 package, it's beginning to grow a personality all its own. As far as design goes, the Canyon AT4 certainly looks the part of a tough, capable off-road pickup truck. Apparently, if you're a pickup truck these days, you need to have a grille approximately in these dimensions. You just gotta have it. It's nice looking and I like the satin chrome, but it really is large. And then with these very wide open-eyed headlights, it sort of has a shocked expression on its face. Red tow hooks mean business. Speaking of meaning business, look at these flared fenders. It just looks tough and muscular and everything you want in an off-roader, especially on these 31-inch knobby tires. Then you've got rock sliders, so much better than running boards. What's a rock slider? When you're rock crawling, you can just slide down a boulder rather than having to worry about clearing it. We still have the flared fenders out back. They look even more flared out back. And there's so much space between the wheel and the body because, you want to have articulation for going off-road, but, not only is it capable, it looks capable, and that's very cool. Out back, it's just kind of a pickup truck. It has GMC in font about this big, in case you weren't clear. And while it's not really a design element, one of the best features of any pickup truck, these bumper cutouts make it so easy to get into the bed. As fresh and attractive as the outside of the Canyon AT4 is, the inside, it's a little glum and dreary. Here, GMC, they've tried to gussy up the AT4. They've added some leather, although this obviously isn't leather. This is rubber that has some stitching in it that from over here kind of looks like leather, but if you touch it, obviously it's not leather. And then of course, there's leather on the shifter here, but it makes that noise. Does it work? I guess it looks a little bit more money than the standard Canyon, but I don't know if it was needed. This is an older vehicle. And what do I mean by older? Check this out. Kids, that's a key. You actually start this truck by sticking this thing into a slot right here and twisting. Crazy, right? When the Canyon was first designed, wireless phone charging, an inductive charger, it wasn't even a possibility. Now you gotta have it, but look, here's an iPhone 10 and it doesn't even fit. So you gotta have like one of those new iPhone minis. Everything else is fine, except one thing I do want to point out, the light switch and the switch to go from 2 to 4 to 4 low, they're the same physical switch and they're right next to each other. So, you might accidentally twist one when you mean the other. More of an annoyance than anything. But overall, it's pretty comfy, and it does have GM's latest infotainment system, which is really good. It works well, it's clear, it's logical, and there's CarPlay, so that's nice. Android Auto too, of course. The seats themselves, they're fine. They aren't very supportive, but no seat in this segment really is. Not a ton of space in the second row, but again, that's kind of normal for the segment. Just like the bed, it's a 5-foot bed, totally just like everything else in the segment. However, the AT4 does come standard with a spray-in bed liner. In terms of performance, the GMC Canyon AT4 offers a lot of performance in a segment that's really not known for performance. Under the hood, it has a naturally aspirated 3.6-liter V6. It makes 308 horsepower and 275 pound-feet of torque. All of that power flows into an 8-speed automatic transmission. Initially, this car is set up to be rear-wheel drive. However, if you live where there's snow and rain, you can put it into 4-high. If you want to crawl over rocks, you just stick it into 4-low because it does have a transfer case. Speaking of crawling over rocks, the AT4 package adds a locking rear differential to the standard center differential. That means that this vehicle is quite capable off-road. If you're gonna ding the Canyon AT4 anywhere, it's gonna be fuel economy. A, it has an 8-speed instead of the 10-speed transmission. B, it doesn't really have any aerodynamics to speak of, so we're talking 17 miles per gallon around town and 24 miles per gallon on the highway. As for safety here, the GMC Canyon has a good crash rating, but not a great one. 4 stars overall, however, it only gets 3 stars in terms of rollover, and the headlights are rated rather poorly. It also doesn't have any standard automatic safety features. However, since this is a highly optioned truck, it does include a $395 forward collision warning. How much? Well, the GMC Canyon AT4 Crew Cab here costs just under $46,000. Now you might look around and say, hey, a Chevy Colorado ZR2? That costs about the same money, and that's an off-roader, this is an off-roader, but not all off-roaders are created equally. The ZR2 has much more capability than the pretty capable, but not supremely capable AT4. And when you start to look at vehicles that have this amount of capability, say the Toyota Tacoma TRD Off-Road, that thing costs thousands of dollars less. So one place where the AT4 stumbles, value. If there's one thing I want you to know about the 2021 GMC Canyon AT4, it's that it is so nice to see GMC doing something to separate themselves away from Chevrolet. I think it's a very handsome truck. I think the interior is 2 to 5% nicer than what you would find in a Chevy Colorado. And I think it offers a level of off-road performance that is more than enough for most people. However, this is a buyer's guide. And for the amount of money this thing costs, you could have the Chevy Colorado ZR2. Buy the ZR2! To see vehicle rankings and a complete